Welcome back to Everyday Kentucky. Today we are learning more legal expertise with Peterson Law Office.
So we have Justin Peterson here to tell us a little bit more about the law office. Justin, so we were talking during the commercial break. So because I do traffic, I'm going to ask you a number one topic. If someone gets into a car crash, what should they do?
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you all for having me again. It's exciting to be here. But if you're in a car crash, there's really 4 things that we would like to see happen. And of course, that depends on the severity of your injury. Because if you can't get out of your car and move around, you can't do some of these things. But number one is try to get a copy of the license plate. Okay, just get a picture of that. Try to get a picture of their other person's driver's license, and try to get a picture of their insurance card before any, scene debris, anything leaves or anything of that nature. And also try to get a picture of the vehicles and how they are after the accident. As you can imagine, people sometimes get out of their vehicle, they say, I'm sorry, they apologize for what happened. And then shortly thereafter, months and months later, then you hear a different story. Oh, you stopped too quickly, or you turned in front of me, or you ran the red light, not me. And so it's important to gather that information on the front end. So take pictures of the vehicles, picture of an insurance card. Number 3, try to get a picture of their driver's license as well. If they don't want to give you those second 2 things, that's a big red flag. You certainly need to wait for the police if that's the case. And then the 4th thing, call us at Peterson Law Office if you need help with the situation.
And the other thing is, always get that police report too, right?
Yes, and we can get that for people. We pay for a service where we can get online and we can get that information very quickly for people. The other thing I would say is also report all of your injuries, because a year down the road when we're talking to the insurance companies about trying to resolve a personal injury case, one of the big defenses is, well, yeah, they had a shoulder surgery 6 months later, but at the ER they didn't complain of shoulder pain. They just complained of a headache or neck or back pain, because so many people get what I call their bell rung in an accident. That's all they think about is, wow, my head's hurting, and they don't think about this shoulder injury, because when your seatbelt goes down over your left shoulder, a lot of people have shoulder injuries due to that seatbelt pulling back, and so we call it's a seatbelt injury in these accidents. And so we see it all the time, and that's the argument we're going to get from the defense side as well. They didn't report it at the scene, and they didn't report it shortly thereafter, therefore it must not be related.
So what if you have a case, if there is a situation where a person later down the line all of a sudden has an injury? So at first they didn't, but let's say then it becomes a back issue, hey, I'm starting to feel some back problems. I think it's because of this incident. What's the proper way to go about that situation?
That's a great question. In fact, that's the majority of cases that all of us see that do personal injury work, is people have arthritis in our spine, and sometimes it's not active. And if that arthritis becomes active following an accident, the law says if the damages are but for the accident, so but for the accident, I would not have suffered this pain, incurred these medical expenses, suffered these lost wages, then I get those damages through the legal process.
Anybody that's been in through any type of injury, that first day you're still in a lot of shock, so sometimes you don't notice things. But in the days after that, that's when the pain starts to set in. You start noticing. So make note of all of it, even at that time, right?
Yeah, I would, and I would document if you have bruising from your seatbelt. A lot of people have the bruising across their waist or across their shoulder from their seatbelt injury, things of that nature. So just documenting evidence, and once you do go to a medical provider, make sure you report all symptoms, not just the worst ones.
So what if you also were not able to get all of the information that you had suggested earlier, the driver's license, the insurance, and then you come across a situation where you need that information? What should you do?
Well, definitely call us sooner than later. We had a lady come in the other day, catastrophic brain injury. It's a question of who ran the red light. A local gas station just right across the street had a camera, and so we went and just got the information.
Perfect.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your advice.
Thank you all.